because I'm like kind of waiting for shit to hit the fan. Do you mind? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the reading vlog. It is Wednesday. I am starting to get a little bit better at this. So, I am about 30% into Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove. I thought I'd be done with it by now, but I've had some things come up. I am enjoying the read so far. I'm having another problem where I did with the Sunbearer Trials, where the way that the book is formatted is getting in the way of me reading it really fast because there's just so many words on a page. I am wondering when shit's gonna hit the fan. Because when we're at the point in the story, because we have our main girl, Ketiani, she has a soul bond with the Queen of Chandela, and she is being entrusted with the protection of both the Crown Prince and the nephew of the King and Queen to accompany them to this like spiritual advisor in the forest who is teaching them not only like spiritual things but then also teaching them about monsters and stuff, because this is more of like a historical fantasy based on India and Indian folklore. So they're learning how to protect themselves from monsters, but then also this is more of a like spiritual thing. They're learning how to meditate and how to be calm and how to find their center and stuff. And the boys kind of think that this is like, you know, stupid, but they do see that this is like important, and it's important to their mom and their aunt respectively. So I'm at the point in the story where we're 30% in, and Pinecone found the incense shelf and she keeps rubbing her face on it even though it's making her sneeze. Don't mind her. But we're at the point in the story where like 30% has passed and they're being called back to the capital, and lo and behold, the assassins that have been sent after the king and queen, they found an assassin. As an assassin has been found and survived. So like I'm wondering like what the next 60% of the story is going to be like if that's the case, because I'm like kind of waiting for shit to hit the fan. Do you mind? She has never done this. Do you mind? What are you doing? Kitiani also has a crush on one of the older boys who's like the son of the, I don't remember what the name of the, but he's the spiritual leader. He's the teacher that they were sent to learn under. One of his sons, she has a crush on him. That's where we're at with Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm just kind of like waiting for that next big, like, okay, when's shit gonna hit the fan? When is things going to get serious? Like, somebody's gotta die or the stakes have gotta be upped somehow. And then also, I'm about 14% into A Court of Wings and Ruin. At this point in the story, you know shit goes wrong because things have been going too good so far. So where we are at the moment is at the where basically where we left off in A Court of Mist and Fury. Feyre allows herself to go back to Springcourt, and she is pretending to be like broken of Rhysand's spell and is secretly communicating with him to be the spy in the Spring Court. And Tamlin is just uh, so happy that she is back and is like pretending to be his mate again. I was a bit concerned as to how this would go down because, these books are very sexual in nature. I was wondering how Miss Sarah Jalapeno Mass was going to uh, navigate this sexual nature, in that basically Feyre pretending that like Rhysand coercing her into a sexual relationship would make her turned off from sexual relations for some time. That was the most reasonable explanation, but that doesn't mean it didn't make me feel icky to read about it because, we know that that's not the case. But I am glad to see that like Tamlin is giving her some distance and is like largely staying out of her way. But what I don't understand is how this whole plan in the Spring Court and like every step of the process, Feyre is being extremely calculated. And like after everything happens, after every domino falls, she thinks to herself, ah, yes, exactly as I planned. And it's like, girl, you cannot plan for literally everything. There is no way that you can actively plan for everything. And I don't know how. Like, I know like there's this recurring theme of like the old Feyre died under the mountain, and when she was reborn, she's like a new and improved version of herself. But you can't tell me that this the dumbest bitch alive who 2 books ago couldn't read is now like this master like spy. You cannot tell me that this is the same character. She's like, ah, yes, exactly as I planned, 5G big brain energy. And it's like, girl, I wish that there was more concentrating on the planning part instead of like the entire time it's just day by day like execution of her plans, and she's like, ah, yes, all according to plan. It's like, no, I wish there was more of a, maybe I missed it, I doubt it, but like the thought process of, you know, I'll do this and that, and I've noticed that this and that, I should do this and turn this person against this person. Like, I wish there was more of a discussion of her plot, like discussion of her thoughts and how they're processing and how she comes to this plan, instead of just this was her plan all along and it's all going according to this plan that she's had all along. So it's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just that I think that there are some missing pieces here where like Feyre is playing 4D chess and everybody else is playing checkers. And as the former dumbest bitch alive, I am unconvinced that Feyre is like a James Bond spy at this point. But she has now left Spring Court and she is going to go back to Night Court, and Lucien is with her. I love that. Actually, I kind of stan. I kind of stan their friendship, but also Lucien saying, maybe you were right. Maybe you're right. We got to get the fuck out of here. I kind of stan. Lucien stays stannable. I may change my mind later, but I love Lucien. I love him and Feyre's friendship and how close they are. And I don't like how she basically used jealousy and Tamlin's like love for her against Lucien to kind of make them like bicker and fight. I don't like that she kind of used Lucien in that way. But I appreciate that, you know, there's discussion that there's never going to be anything going on because like he's mated to Elaine and now he's like off limits. So there's no questioning of feelings, there's no potential love triangle. It's just they have a wholesome friendship where they are two dumb bitches comfortable with each other and comfortable showing love and affection and friendship and closeness with one another, and other people can misinterpret it however they want, but they as two besties know that there is no misconstruing of their feelings here. There's no like Lucien misunderstanding Feyre or anything like that, and that's what I liked. So that I do enjoy. That was my check-in for Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and take some meds so that this headache goes away. I've been working really weird hours because of the holidays and people are going home, and I'm trying to pick up extra work because I was sick, and now everybody else is getting sick, so I'm picking up all of their hours to kind of make up for lost wages when I was sick first. By the time this gets posted on Monday, because again, today is Wednesday, I already have Friday's video recorded, edited, uploaded, and done and scheduled for 2 days from now. But I have on my notes that I want A Court of Wings and Ruin to go up on Saturday for a sequel Saturday video, but I'm not going to punish myself if I don't get it up in time, because I wanted the last sequel Saturday to be The Savior Sister, but we all know I DNF'd that shit. So I'm not going to be mad at myself if I don't finish that, and I need to start getting through the next 3 Vampire Academies because that video is next week. So I either gotta move some stuff around or do something because I got a lot to do, which is why I'm not entirely mad that I haven't finished this yet. So I'm gonna get on the ball, but right now I have a headache. So we're suffering out here. Hello, everybody, and checking in for Friday. I am 29 to 30% into A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I am still having a really good time. I'm still having the same complaints about Feyre being a huge mastermind. Insert Taylor Swift Midnight's track, Mastermind. I am having a hard time mustering up any sympathy for Nesta because she is just Nesta's just a huge bitch. Let's just put it that way. Like, I understand that she is upset about being made High Fae after they've been raised to hate the Fae, and she is struggling with her new identity, and part of her anger is in defense of Elaine, who was due to marry a human who hated Fae more than anything. I understand why she's upset on behalf of Elaine, but it's literally not Feyre's fault for anything that's happened. Like, there's nothing that Feyre did that actively got them to where they are that could be a reason why Nesta should be angry with her sister. This is just the circumstances that she finds herself in. Maybe she's just angry and bitter about the circumstances, but there is no reason for her to be taking it out on Feyre. So I'm struggling to have sympathy for her because to me, she's just being a massive bitch. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Right? That was the Friday check-in, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Coming at you live, but barely alive on Saturday night because, bitch, am I tired. I opened at work at 10:45 and I didn't leave until 9:45, and I had maybe a 15-minute break. I said I will not be working through. I won't even clock out. Let me just eat my lunch, as much of it as I feel I need, and I'll be back. But I will sit down at the very least because it was a madhouse all day long. Anyway, I have not made that much progress in Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove, but I wanted to give you an update because boy, oh boy, did it just get fucking juicy. So I didn't realize that we were going to have some high fucking stakes here, but we do have some high fucking stakes. Ketsiani, Ayan, and Bhairav are called back to the capital of Chandela, and it rains for like 5 days straight. And then they start to have their little tactical meetings about war because there have been enemies imposing in on multiple sides, and they are going to engage one of them in battle. But also there is the issue of trying to figure out why they're trying to assassinate the king and queen of Chandela. And the whole point is that they got called back to the capital. So they're locked inside the council room where there's only one entrance and one exit, and all of a sudden, these magical creatures called Yatu, the Yatu were in cahoots with one of the rival kingdoms that has been at war with Chandela. And they break in, and everybody is fighting for their lives, literally. By the end of it, the king is dead, the crown prince is dead, and Ketsiani is kidnapped. The queen is alive, but they don't know where she is. And the first thing that happens is that Ketsiani is put in front of a man. He gives her water, and then he says, basically, hello, granddaughter. And it's like a dun 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 moment because something that Katya was told to question when she was in with the spiritual leader in the forest was to ask the queen about her origins, because Katya was always told that her parents died from this mysterious blood plague or something, and that the queen had adopted her and taken her in and saved her life, and that's what caused the soul bond between them. Well, now we're being told, or whether or not it's the truth, we're not sure yet, but now we're being told that Ketsiani is actually the lost granddaughter of a rival kingdom. A rival kingdom who has just now killed the king and the crown prince. I told you it got juicy. I told you it got juicy. So now I am thoroughly invested. Not that I wasn't already, but I'm extremely invested in this story. This just like took it up another notch for me personally. I did also decide to push the sequel Saturday, A Court of Wings and Ruin video to next week, being the 17th. Hopefully I don't have to push it another week, but it's one of those bonus videos where I just kind of like fit it in whenever I can, and I'm kind to myself about when I actually do it. Um, I had to move some things around just because I've been working so much. I haven't had as much time to read. So the next video coming up, I had to invent out of thin air, and it's going to be a gaming compilation video. I'm going to put that in instead of a booktube video. So it's going to be Ghost Mommy's abridged, and the full version of that stream will be up the following Wednesday. So that it kind of worked actually. So Ghost Mommy's abridged being the shortened version of a stream I did with my friend Shantae, and she and I played Phasmophobia together, and it was her first time playing it, and we played for like 4 or 5 hours together, and it was a lot of fun, and it had a lot of funny moments, and akin to Dan and Gia go ghost hunting, it will be the same in that vein where it's like me and Shantae going ghost hunting and things happen. So next week's video is going to be different, but it's going to be give me the opportunity to catch up with my reading. Because after that, the 23rd, being right before Christmas, I'm going to be doing a reading Christmas romances video. I'm a bit of a Grinch when it comes to holiday romance, just because Christmas at my dad's house starts in September because he does a light show every year. So that's nice and it's great what he does for the community, but I get so tired of Christmas when it takes up like 30% of the year. He always has the Hallmark Channel on like 24/7 in the month of December, so I get a little tired of it. But I decided to give in to the Christmas cheer and read some Christmas romances, one of them being extremely popular and well recommended by a couple booktubers. I have a Amazon wish list of a couple that I wanted to choose from, but I know one for sure. And I believe another was supposed to be like a smutty one. I was trying to get like a bit of a range. Like I wanted like a sweet contemporary rom-com, and then I wanted like a smutty one, and then I wanted, different basically different types of romance Christmas novels. I accidentally read a Christmas medieval romance novel a couple of months ago, Twelfth Night's Bride, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was smutty, it was cute, it was a good time. I think I gave it like 4 stars or something. It was a cute read. That is all from me today. Hopefully I will have more to say that is relevant to this book that I'm holding upside down and reversed because I'm insecure. I will hopefully have more to say about this when we talk again tomorrow. And hopefully, I will have it finished so that we can chit chat about the ending of this book. So, anyway, have a good night, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hello, everybody. It is 2:30 in the morning on Monday because I'm up to my old bullshittery again, and that means staying up way past my imposed bedtimes. That reminds me, I need to take my meds. Hold on one second. I wish I was kidding, but I'm an old ass lady who has a pill organizer these days because Lord knows I can't be fucking bothered to look at all my pill bottles every day and read each time and figure it out. I just need to dump it in my hand and take it. I'm not gonna do a pharmaceutical tour or anything, but just to put it in perspective, my nighttime meds include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different medications, all for various things that ail me. That's incorrect, actually. 5 things that help with what ails me, and one is biotin. Okay, now that that's over, I have approximately 45 minutes to record this, edit this, and get it uploaded before Sarah Quill takes me out. I am now about 77% into Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove, and boy oh boy did it get fucking juicy. At first I was not entirely too sure what the fuck was happening because it felt a little weird. about where we were in the story and to only get a third of the way through, and then they were going back from their initial spiritual journey. So I knew that like the rest of the book was going to get a little interesting. So what we have discovered is that the kingdom that we started out in was at war 15 years ago with another rival kingdom, and they stole slash kidnapped the granddaughter of the current ruler, killed her parents and her cousin's parents, and then stole her, soul bonded her to the queen of the rival kingdom, of their kingdom, and then raised her convinced that she was theirs and not the others, as like a like revenge thing, as a we took your land, your glory, and one of your future rulers slash your princess, and they brainwashed her. So we get to about a third of the way through the story after they go to the spiritual guru to teach them about like wielding their spirit. There are different like non-human creatures that exist in here, and I have Google searched a few of them. They do exist in Hindi mythology, in Indian mythology. They are mythological in nature, mixed with fantastical elements of like spiritual elemental use and such, and how everybody has a spirit essence inside them that they can use to wield certain magical properties, etc. So they go to the spiritual guru to learn how to basically meditate and use this spiritual power so that they are able to use it with merit and with honor and become good rulers and good people with morals. So they get called back a third of the way through the book, and I was like, some shit is about to go down, and it does. So the one of the non-human creatures is aligned with Katya's grandfather, who she was stolen from, and they break in and steal her back, and they kill the king and the crown prince and eventually the queen, and they send her back and start to talk to her about everything that happened, and you find out that the Chandelians or the Chandelans were actually the enemies that they used like a really fine line print to invade into non-human territory, and that's why there were so many refugees of the non-human variety. That's why they were always told not to go into the forest, because they could be enacted revenge upon, and that it was just a very dangerous place for them to be, is because history was rewritten by the victors. You see a good bit of historical revisionism. I think from a narrative perspective, using historical revisionism is quite interesting as a narrative tool. Poppy is also very passionate about it because she's asking me for attention right now. But another great example I can give is in House of the Dragon, for example. Like, I could go on and on and on about George R. R. Martin. But in Fire and Blood, the book written by George R. R. Martin, the perspectives of all of the events that happened within the Targaryen dynasty that take place about this particular generation of the Targaryens is spoken from the perspectives of multiple people that give conflicting narratives. So you have like Mushroom the Jester, who ironically enough gives sometimes the best and most accurate version of some of the events, even if he wasn't there for them. But then you have one of the High Septons who is giving a very condescending version of events, because anything that is too scandalous, he either chooses to circumvent it entirely or just kind of skirts around it a little bit and doesn't mention it and says like, oh, it's not really that important. The other character we hear a lot from is a Grand Maester, who also is a person of interest, because there is a larger conspiracy within the stories of Westeros, that there is a grand conspiracy about the Maesters, and that the Maesters having a lot of control over the health and personal wellness of the kings are able to manipulate palace intrigue from the inside. There was a lot of discussion about whether or not the Grand Maester was poisoning Viserys on purpose, or whether there was something going on where they were killing him on purpose. But as we saw in the HBO show, like, it took so many fucking years for him to die. They were obviously not doing that, because he would have croaked a lot sooner. But I saw this most blatantly with the events that happened that kicked off the Dance of the Dragons, when Lucerys and Aemond were in the sky over Storm's End. The only two people who were present for that event one of them ended up dying, and killing somebody who you're related to is one of the biggest sins in Westeros. So you had the point where Aemond in the show is like realizing that he killed his nephew. He has this look of pure shock on his face. I actually enjoyed that choice that they did because it shows that he didn't really mean to kill his nephew, because the book shows that he's this cold-blooded killer who did it on purpose. And I think that that shows how perspective is interesting in a story, and you can see historical revisionism happening very quite blatantly in this book firsthand as Katya is learning about what actually happened over the course of history, that the people that she aligned herself with and that she thought were her family this entire time were actually the oppressors and were actually not good people. So she doesn't necessarily believe that like they deserved what happened to them, but she's like halfway there. But she's also trying to figure out who framed her, because now she was rescued by her grandfather and then promptly taken back, and they immediately imprisoned her because then her cousin, or the crown prince's cousin, who is now going to be king, imprisoned her, and then a bunch of people lied at her trial and said that she was responsible for what happened and that she stood aside and did nothing. So now she's on this revenge quest to figure out why everybody lied, and she spent approximately a year. Like, the events of this book go on for about, I'd say, 2 years, because after the trial where Katya is falsely accused of everything, of all of the things that had happened to her, she spends about a year at the place where the Archriah is, and he is like teaching her how to utilize her spiritual power, and she's healing from what happened to her. And it's only after another year passes that she's been there for a full calendar year, that's when she decides to start going off on her own again to figure out what happened and try to question the Yatu, or the non-human individuals who were involved with her real grandfather's quest to get her back. We're getting to the point now where it's the last third of the book, and I'm wondering if she's going to succeed in not just figuring out who is responsible for everything that happened, but also all of the individual moving parts, because there's a lot that's going on, because she has to figure out who lied about her being responsible for everything that happened, and then she also has to figure out who was responsible for sending in the assassins to kill the king and queen, and who was responsible for everything to begin with. So I am interested to see where it goes, and I still am unsure as to where it's going. I think that's another thing that's to the testament of this writer's talent, is that I am completely unsure what's going on. There's still a lot more to learn, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sequel, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this was a standalone. So yeah, I am most of the way through this. I only have about a quarter of it left. This week I need to clean the basement, I need to finish Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove, and A Court of Wings and Ruin, because I'm definitely getting the Sequel Saturday video for A Court of Wings and Ruin up this week. And then this week's video is going to be a Twitch compilation video. It's not going to be a booktube video, just because I need time to get my shit together. That is all for me for the reading vlog. I actually got some shit done, except it is December 12th and I have not finished a book for the month of December. So I got some shit done, but I have not finished a book. But we're getting there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. If you'd like to find me anywhere else, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Huntress Gia. I'm gonna go to bed now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.